Hello everybody, what a beautiful day. Warm Audio is in the house and I would like to introduce two very important persons of Warm Audio. On my left side is Ben Tompkins, the Vice President, and on his right side is Ben Woosley, and Product Manager. And well, you brought us really impressing new products, and I'm very, very happy to have this here because this is a new step, I think, also for your company to establish that one. So what is this, the new Warm Audio WA1B?
Thanks for the introduction. Great to be here as always to see you, and great to be here at Music Store. We've got right here the WA1B, which is a compressor that has that well-known Scandinavian compression, we call it, where it's super smooth, transparent, and gives you that great accurate control over threshold, attack, and all those fun compressor settings.
I had, before this video, a look on a sheet you sent me, and I've seen the front of this product, and I said, I remember that very, very well-known compressor from the past, and your company is well-known to recreate really old good stuff in, let's say, in a better way. Can we talk about this?
We're definitely inspired by other products. We did make some things that we felt, like you said, could be improvements or just put our own flair on that too. So yeah, we're very excited about this.
This one's not only one of the most requested ones, but internally we're excited about it just because it really just rounds out our whole compression line. We've got, the 2A style compression, the 76 style compression that a lot of people are familiar with. Even got the bus compressor as well. So this one kind of gives you any option for a compressor that you'd like to reach for in the studio, because, it's a tube optical compressor, so you're going to get that warmth from the circuitry in the tubes. However, a lot like a 2A style compressor. And if you want to just switch it to the fixed settings, you'll just kind of trust the circuitry to take care of the attack and release. But, if you're in a session where you want to squash some drums or get some thumping sound out of your compressor, you can switch it over to manual, and you've got those precision controls with the attack and release as well.
So you're bringing back into this, let's say, mixing in a box and recording in a box, the warmth back into this coldness of digital recording.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
I mean, definitely back in the day, there was a thing where you could only get plugins, and then there was analog gear that cost a ton of money, and then there was no real middle ground. So I think what we've been able to do as a company for over 10 years now is find that middle ground to where you learn on the plugins. We look at those as kind of teaching tools, and they're great as well. We use plugins, but when you get into that analog world, you start hearing the warmth that's in the sound of it, and having the analog controls. It's a little bit different of a world.
What was the first thought about inventing this WA1B? Was it the demands, the messages of customers? Could you maybe create such a compressor in this way? Or was it also your own idea?
Truth be told, it's one of the most requested products from Warm Audio, this style of compression. So I've been bugging Bryce for about 4 years to do this.
Okay, so it took so much time to recreate it in this way. And what makes it so special? Let's talk about the inside things, because we can see knobs, but it's all about the processing inside. So what is there the main thing?
I mean, the main juice in there is obviously the Lundahl transformers. Just a really big open sound to the compressor. Just running through those transformers, it gives you just an open musical sound, for lack of a better term, and that's definitely the main component in this. And it gives, Lundahl's from Scandinavia. It gives that kind of Scandinavian style compression. So that's
where the design is coming from,
exactly.
And also the sound affection. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because this is a thing we can't see. It's built in, but this is the inner heart of that.
Yeah, transformers are a big part of, obviously, of pieces of gear like this. And then you get tubes and a couple other elements. But we're very proud of all the transformers we have in our products, and they're used in a lot of different expensive products out there. And we're really happy to have Lundahl with this particular product.
Is everything inside hand-wired?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Hand-built, hand-wired. We've got an amazing QA team in Austin, Texas that, once it is manufactured, before it goes out to stores or retailers, they'll double check all of the wiring and all of the components inside, do audio tests in our QA room just to make sure that everything's 100% before it hits the retailers.
We shouldn't forget that analog products, they don't need updates.
Yeah.
They're done once and they keep the quality to the end of our life, yeah? That's a bit the thing.
Yeah, it's something you physically hold and own, yeah.
And I took my hand to turn the knob of the original one, yeah? And the knobs are sliding, and I remarked that we are here, let's say, what do you say?
What is the word we use?
What is the word in
These are-
English?
these are kind of stepped, yeah.
So you can adjust the knob more precisely than the sliding things, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're like me and you forget a setting, like you go, oh no, it was 2 clicks to the right off of 12 o'clock.
So you tried also to make things better than the, let's say, original or old ones.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All those fine details, they just, part of the analog experience is touching the knobs and controlling your sound with your hands and being in the studio and not, just looking at a screen to get your sound. So, I mean, the higher quality everything feels as well is all part of the experience for me. Like the loose knobs that are just smooth kind of feel cheap on the front of the face. Regardless of how expensive the piece of gear is, you touch this and it's just like, man, this feels like a real high quality piece of gear. And it might sound silly, but when you're in the studio in the groove creating music, those little things add to the whole experience of the vibe. So the first thing you're going to hit when you flip on the compressor is this calibration meter. It might get bumped. This just makes sure you're starting out your session totally calibrated. The awesome feature on this 1B is this fixed versus manual setting here. If you're in fixed, these are going to be automatic. It's just going to deliver a natural compression that's not too overwhelming, sounds very musical, but you still get that tube optical warmth to it. When you're in fixed, the ratio and threshold is still going to be up to you. Obviously, you're going to set your own gain as well. And you're always going to make sure you're in compression mode. However, if you want to monitor your input or your output signal, you can easily flip those over just to make sure that your wavelengths are where you want them to be. Now, if you do want to control these attack and release features and have a little bit more control over your sound, you simply flip over to manual. Boom, you've got your release, which is how quickly your compression is going to release, and your attack, which is how quickly it's going to kick in.
So audio-wise, what kind of issues would you solve with this product?
Yeah, I mean, the most popular is vocals. It's great at controlling bass frequencies in your mix. So if you got a lot of low end on something, this can help control it regardless of the application. But I always joke, you can kind of put this on anything and set it anywhere, and you're going to get a good sound. So the two most popular are vocals and reeling in some bass frequencies, but you can easily use this for drums, guitar, obviously bass guitar, piano as well. Get a big open piano sound is really cool to add some subtle compression.
Yeah, so obviously with compression, it's controlling the dynamics of it. So if you're singing too loud or there's a loud source, it will sort of push that down a bit and keep it in a controllable level. And the opposite, if it's too low of a sound, it can keep you within that middle range as well. But something that when I first got into music and I asked my guitar teacher what compression was, he said, there's dynamics, the way a lot of people explain compression is dynamics. He goes, but there's also a sound to it as well. Mm-hmm. So when I started talking about this product with Bryce, I said, what's the difference between a 76 and a 2A? And he really helped formulate that. He goes, well, certain compressors are transparent and certain ones have controls and give a sound to it. This is kind of the best of all of those worlds. You have the ability to put it in a manual mode and be able to control the attack and threshold and really dial it in, or you put it in the fixed mode and it's just kind of a set it and forget it type thing. Transparent, musical, open, it just kind of puts like a vocal or whatever track you're recording like in the pocket, if I could say that. It's got a tone to it.
On which position of the sound chain would you put this product?
Yeah, great question. After a preamp, so you have a microphone, for example, and then a preamplifier like our WA73
You can
EQ.
sidechain it or directly.
Yeah, put the compressor after that and then sidechain them together if you want. There are sidechain things
And we
on
have
the
on
back here.
backside XLR
Yeah,
inputs
yeah.
and jack outputs, yeah?
Not every piece of outboard gear has a TRS on the back
That's
of it,
it.
1/4 inch,
Yeah.
and ours does. So yeah,
Cool. Is it already available, this product?
it will be in stock. It's not one of those we're going to announce and then 6 months later it comes out. Like available at music store now. So
No pre-orders.
And the price point, let's say, will be approximately...
1349 euro, I think, is where it's at. 11.99 US.
Okay, so very affordable for such quality, because all you put in was not a little step. It has a development of 4 years.
The philosophy was that we wanted everybody to be able to have one of these because it's hard to get a hold of some of those outboard pieces of gear, a waiting list, or they're very expensive and unobtainable. Our philosophy is to try to get hardware in the hands of all of our customers.
And yeah, what kind of customers was in the focus of your creation? I think beginners with 20 years, they wouldn't buy such a compressor. They would maybe start with a good computer and an interface.
Yeah.
But later on,
Yeah, I mean, obviously with all studio gear, you're going to be a little more seasoned, understand what EQ does, what compression does, why you would need a preamp for your microphone. So if somebody's just got an interface and a microphone, they might not dive into this right away. But I mean, the demand for this has been so large that we wanted to hit that price point where it was available for kind of every artist, to be honest with you. But yeah, I would say experienced producers that understand why they would need attack and release and some of those precision controls would dive into something like this.
some things can't be reproduced in a software.
Right?
This is the truth. We
Yeah.
can't deny a true vocal, a true guitar. It's something different. It has more richness as informations than the digital things.
And again, you could put this in a fixed mode too, and then you don't even need to touch the attack and release. Then it just sort of set it and forget it, which is actually, as we've been
Set
trying.
it and forget it. That's quite a good phrase.
It's what we've been
That's the
checking
thing,
in
yeah.
our studio,
Yeah.
and going through it. And the more we mess with it, we go,
Put on the
put it
power
in,
supply
put
and
it
it works
fixed,
and it sounds better
goes,
than...
let it do its thing, and it,
Yeah,
it has just
that's
a
it.
magic to it.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, in the industry, like, plugins are obviously very popular. AI is being introduced into it, and people are kind of scared of it. But to be honest with you, for me, it almost like enriches what analog gear does to it. The more saturated the market gets with plugins and more digital things that'll process your music, I feel like the more people are going to crave that kind of authentic, vintage sound that from the records that we all grew up on and made us love music in the first place.
And maybe we should stop the war between analog or digital. It's analog and digital.
Yeah, there's definitely room for an analog touch in digital production as well. You can run digital sources through this compressor, get that tube optical warmth to it, and it's you get the best of best worlds if your sound is a little more leans more on the digital side. You can still add some analog warmth to it.
Okay. So thank you, the two Bens of Warm Audio, for your explanations. I hope that was helpful for you, and see you next time with the next product. But now it's all about Warm Audio WA1B. Thank you for all your phrases. Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Great to be here.
Bye.